Present.
Ms. Nicholson. Ms. Childress. Ms. Martin. Present. Ms. Donna Dilworth. Okay. We have actually 5 members, I believe, active members, so we do have a quorum. So Mr. Seegers, if you would like to start.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We're just going to stick to the agenda and go through. We've done the call to order, roll call, general public comments. I have not received via email or any other communications method any public comments. Are there anyone present who has a comment to make? If not, we'll continue. Meeting minutes. Do we have the minutes from the last meeting available?
No, Mr. Chair, we do not. So I would like to motion that we table our meeting minutes for, I believe it was October, until our January meeting.
Can we get a second on that? Okay, I'll second it. I second we hold the minutes, review our minutes in our next meeting. I second that we review the minutes from October at our next meeting in January. Can we have a call on that, roll call on that?
Ms. Clay,
I agree.
Mr. Seegers,
I agree.
Ms. Martin. Yes. So there were three yeses, 0 nos, no abstentions. The motion passes.
All right. Our next item on the agenda is old business. And from our last meeting, we had some questions posed by the public regarding our budgetary process and the budget that we were looking at. I don't know if everyone has a copy of that. Let me see if I can. Neva, did you get a copy of that you could put it up, or I'll just read through it? And as Donna is not here, I'll just kind of try and touch on it on her behalf. The first item, where's the documentation?
I'm present.
Hi, Donna, how are you doing?
Great. You?
The documentation is, okay, go ahead.
Okay. So for the questions, I feel that it's irrelevant now because the budget's already passed and it's already been spoke about at the public hearing. And I don't even know if the village manager is on to even address it, but there's no purpose to address the questions when the budget is already passed.
All right, we'll consider that is item covered since you want to withdraw it from the table for consideration. Next one, review of current budget revenues and expenditures year to date, preparing for 4-quarter year-end closeout. We requested the budget revenues and expenditures for year to date from the village manager. We have not received that information as of today, which kind of kills the idea of reviewing it. So again, we'll have to move on past that one. which would conclude old business, and we move to new business. Budget strategic decisioning. Correct. As Donna noted, the current budget is already passed, and the best thing we can do now is try and address some of the issues that was raised in the 10 questions as to tracking our revenues and our planning cycle. The first thing on there is item A, the 2023 budget planning cycle, which is by ordinance. So we just can't willy-nilly change that cycle, but I'd like to review it because from what we're seeing, we're really not holding that budget cycle very well. Which if, again, hold on.
Hello?
Hold on, I'm trying to pull up a document for everyone to see right quick. Sorry about the delay here, caused me a little headache. Questions? I can't see. Hello, Neva. Are you still here?
Yes, I'm here.
I just sent you an email with a document, Word document, best practices. If you can, could you put that on the screen?
Will do. Let me I gotta go to it to get it, okay?
I understand. I just had trouble saving it to send it to you.
Okay.
What's about to be posted when she gets the opportunity is our current best practices, budget financials, and our schedule for our budget cycle for the village. what that document has is our 2022-2023 budget schedule. And once we get it up, you'll see that as far as our information is concerned, we're about behind schedule.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can't. I have it pulled up. I'm not on Zoom.
Okay,
No, we're still seeing the agenda.
okay, 1 second.
And the page in question would be the last page in the document, or the bottom of it. 2022-2023 budget schedule.
Can you see it now? Hello?
Yes, we can see it. Yes, we can see it
Okay.
now. Mhm.
Okay, great.
Yes, I forget I'm on mute.
So everyone can see the chart that says FY 2022/2023 budget schedule.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, because I'm kind of an organizational person going forward, I would like our meetings to concentrate on this schedule and use it as a baseline or a guide to see how far off or behind we are going forward for 22-23 schedule. And if you look at it, starting on December 3rd, we should have finance budgets messages sent to departments. I don't know if that's been done. That would be something we would contact the village manager to just say, yeah, we did that. The budget information or requests would also be sent to the village board and finance committee. Needless to say, I don't think we've gotten that either. So as of December 3rd, we're already behind schedule. As far as what I think.
Danny,
Yeah.
this trustee McFadden, I wanted to let you know the village manager is on the call.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good. You want me to respond to your statement and that schedule?
That would be great.
Well, first of all, I'm great. I'm really feeling happy that someone feels the same as we do as it relates to the department, but we use that schedule as a guide for purposes of staff. What you may or may not be aware of, we just got our budget approved by the board. So
Yes, I'm aware. I was at the meeting.
okay, so we just got it approved. So what we're trying to do now is formulate audit information so they'll know exactly, and that's what's almost done. So they'll know exactly what their actual expenditures would be, because what's going to happen, the actual planning process is going to overlap with the forthcoming budget year. What I mean is that we start planning December 3rd on the budget, and basically the department have started planning, but generally, the first of the year, they will be told that we're looking towards the first week in February to get some kind of draft, and discussions will start. So what we generally try to do in that the new budget year begins May 1, we try to get a draft to the to the board. We're going to try again because we tried last year. We were on schedule, on time with this budget, but when they don't entertain the budget in terms of review, and we keep putting it back on the agenda, it's ultimately up to the mayor board. So what we're going to do is the same thing we did last year. The first round, I submit the budgets of every department the very same that they submitted without any cuts. And I give it to the board to let them know the specifics of their budget and where I'm asking that certain areas be cut or where we don't have the financial support for certain items. It's like a wish list combined with a needs list and or an assessment list based on prior year expenditures, need, or usage. We've combined some services. Some services we allow to remain independent. For example, just to give an example, I'm going on and on, but I'll stop in a sec. When it comes to maintenance, the maintenance budget was initially all put in public works. But after the discussions with the department heads, it was discovered that some things that the public works maintenance individuals could not do, that we would independently put some of those dollars back into police and fire department maintenance schedules. So we have thoroughly reviewed our process on the budget, and we will start again the very same thing, but keep in mind that even though we have the best schedule and intentions, and staff, department heads may do what they're required to do, when those budgets get to the board, that's when the slow process is impacted. So so just so you'll know, we do follow that schedule and things do happen. It has happened at least since I've been in. So this year has ultimately been the longest. December, and we started out the process in January, February. So it's almost took 10, 11 months before we were able to get it approved.
This is Vernita. I believe that the whole purpose of this is, and we do understand that people are busy and things like that, but as we move forward and being going in what we call a strategic direction and ensuring that this budget is passed no later than the final meeting in April. That is the Finance Committee's recommendation. There is no reason in the world why we should be passing a budget, even though legislation says that we can. We have 6 months after the budget should be in place to pass a budget. That's just not good financial sense. You know, it's not good for the village. So trying to change the trajectory and the direction we've gone in over the years, that is the reason why we're trying to hold everyone accountable. This committee is trying to hold everyone accountable so that we don't have these things continue to happen year after year after year. So our goal, and that's why we're presenting this, so that we can be a strategic partner with the village to ensure that these timelines are met. And we do know that as things go on, things happen, life happens. we, may get off course a little bit, but the whole goal is to have the budget passed on the Board of Trustees at their last meeting and have it passed on that last Tuesday of April. That's our goal. So anything that we can do in the process, and that's why we kind of put ourselves in there too, because I believe that during this whole process, and not just me, I'm hoping I'm speaking for my committee members as well, is that that we're not in the dark, that we're looking at this budget as you are looking at the budget. And so if there's anything that we believe, just like here where it says, where is it, presented to Finance Committee, where we were talking, well, that was the capital improvement plan. There are certain things that should be in this budget, and we should be privy to seeing it prior to, so that at the end, like Ms. Dilworth had all those questions, she shouldn't have those questions at the end. We should be a part of this process so that as we're going through it, we can, get these things answered, this is our recommendation, and that is taken seriously. And that's the whole purpose of us trying to move in a new direction.
In addition to that, or to add on to that, the idea of looking at the budget schedule, that if we're not meeting this schedule and it's not realistic, maybe we need to address the schedule itself and present that to a board, because it's ordinance. We just can't say, well, we're not going to use the schedule anymore. Yes, we haven't been holding it, but what can we do to fix that problem? So the way I approach things like this, if I have a checklist of things that has to be accomplished, I'm following that checklist, and then I'm identifying the items that prevent me from meeting those dates, and then address those items, because they're varied. One of them being we're short of staff, I think. So I'm not here to chastise, argue, fight, or holler at people for whatever. I'm looking at a schedule. We're not meeting the schedule. And why aren't we meeting the schedule? And as a finance committee, what can we do to help? Which is the purpose, again, of looking at this schedule. Because it says we should be done in April, and we should be working on it now. And we just did finish last year's budget. So from the village manager perspective, I would look towards you to tell us what we can do to help meet this schedule, and or modify the schedule and address it as an ordinance change.
You got it.
Going forward, I would like to have these meetings based on what we've done and what needs to be done based on this scheduled date. I'm a project manager, saves me a lot of headache if I got a track to follow. So if that's something agreeable that we can all agree on, or something we can all agree on, then I would like to move forward with that. And basically, that's where the meetings will be run until someone kicks me out of here.
I have no problem
Everyone
with that, Mr. Chair.
I would like to hear from each individual on the committee, because we all have to work together to get it done.
Well, I agree with everything you just said. You are absolutely right.
Trustee? All right, then.
Ms. Dilworth, if you're speaking, I think you're on mute.
Mhm.
This is Donna. I agree with what you said, Mr. Seegers.
Okay, so with that in mind,
Danny, did
what
you
I
call,
look
Danny, this trustee,
Say again?
did you call me? I was on mute.
I was just saying, if you could agree with if you're in agreement with
I agree, 100%. That's very good. I agree.
Okay, so what I'll do going forward, I'll take this schedule and kind of break it out from a project management perspective. with some ownership as to the items, because most of it's going to be the village officials. And then we can see where the delays are, or the bottlenecks, and try and address them however we can. And if it means changing the schedule so someone doesn't look at our village from the inside out or the outside in and say those people just can't keep on schedule. That to me would be a really good PR move if we could actually get our schedules and budgets done per the ordinances or close to them, or fix the dates so we can make the dates. So everyone's in agreement with that. Let's go back to the agenda. Budget strategic direction, item A, we just kind of looked at the 2023 budget planning cycle and agreed that we'll try and stick to it and identify the issues that stops us from doing it. Best practices, item B on the agenda. Best practices for budget and financial accountability. Again, hold on, I screwed my phone up. Again, we can't do everything about that tonight, but in accordance with following the schedule, I will stick that item in to something for us to review at the next meeting, and get us some documentation as to what we can agree on the best practices are for our village. And get buy-in from the executive leadership, i.e. the board and the mayor, so that we're not sitting here battling with the village manager, arguing where she's getting directions from two groups of people. That is a problem we can avoid very easily, I think, with communication. Item C, recommendation for personnel. Again, that's an item financial firm to assist with. That's more of a question as to who's doing what and what would be a best method for the board, not the board, but the finance committee via the village manager or the trustee to get information with the various cycles and reviews that we have to go through, which kind of goes back to the schedule that says training. I don't know if that training that's supposed to come along in December, which is, yeah, I heard that. December 6th to 10th, finance provides training on municipal's budgets and dashboard. I don't even know what that is. I'm not going to pretend about it. But that's something we can identify.
Right, the municipal information system and budget dashboard. And basically what it does is it provides the the finance department basically trains the department heads and everyone on what the budget should look like for the following year. It should be based on strategic goals. It should be based upon what the village sees. One of the items that we talked about is that sending a survey out to the residents to see what are some of the things that the resident, because the residents should be a part of this budget cycle, not just when we're getting ready to pass it, to have the community come out and talk about it. But if we could send out a survey, which should have gone out in October, just to ask the community, hey, what would you like to see? What is the strategic direction you would like to see the village go in? And then based on that, and then the board of trustee, the mayor and the board of trustee goals, the village manager goals, what are we looking to accomplish in at least the next 5 years? It's like a checklist. And so that's what the budget dashboard is. It is a set of goals that the village plans to obtain within, I'm going to say, at least 5 years, and start working off that list. Even when it comes down to the way we communicate with our residents, all those things should be a part of this budget. How do we do it? I mean, a part of the goals, and how do we meet these goals, based on the community's involvement. Because when it all boils down, it is the community that we are trying to service and make happy, not the people that are sitting in these positions or on the board, it is the residents. You know, that's who, those are our stakeholders. They are the ones who we are held accountable to and for. And so just through that part of that process, ensuring that we are meeting the needs of our community. And so that's part of our strategic direction that we are trying to get our dollars and cents towards, you know, not personal agendas, but what the people in a community want and need, and that will help to ensure that they have the best standard of living and quality of life in this community.
Very good, Vanita.
So something like that would be some action items we could have under the date 6/10, 6/10, 6 to 10 December, December 6th to the 10th. And the vision of what I would see those action items might be simply to say, yes, we've done that. Check it off and keep on going. The amount of detail, I would leave that up to the recipient stakeholders, which would be the board and the village manager. And secondary would be the committee and the village in general. But we can't do all that tonight. We're not going to be able to do all that in phone conversations.
Okay.
So I will send out documentation. Say again?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. We've done just that in a 5-year comprehensive plan based on information received from surveys, public hearings, and all of that. And we've tried to take it across the board. I think it would probably be advantageous to me is to pull up this final draft of this comprehensive plan and provide it to the finance committee, because it is crucial. In addition to that, all these things that are said to be done takes money, and everybody believes that the Village of University Park gets a gross amount of money. Absolutely not. We're fairly low on the totem pole with regards to the amounts of dollars we receive, and the village has not taken a position beyond the 4.999% that we go out for the tax levy, of which we just did. Because if we go beyond the 4.999% to address some of the needs that are being requested, that would request a tax increment and has to be a part of a referendum. And I don't think anybody wants that. And so we're trying to utilize economic development results from that to help compensate the budget. But that's what we do in the budget. Just to give this board in a concept, we've gone from a $4.9 million deficit in our budget to last year's deficit of slightly over $500,000, and it wasn't easy. There were a lot of criticism, but we cut a lot of fat out. We cut a lot of things out. We are in need of employees, but we've been making a priority on the police department. And so some other kinds of things have been happening. So these kinds of things I can share subsequent and later down the line with the finance committee to let them know actually what had been going on. But that's one of the first things that happened the first week I became an employee with the village, when we started to doing the, we did the 24-car tour of the village. One indication, it was citizens, officials, members of community organizations, business groups. They were all a part of this. Our engineering firm, and we communicated all via our cell phones through Start a Car. We went through all of this and created the base. Since then, we've created a comprehensive economic development packet. I just had it was completed the very same day of the first day of the start of the Illinois Municipal League. I had 1,000 copies of that printed, and I may share this past board meeting, we did share one copy on the chairs of individuals that attended that meeting. And it just showed some of the things that has happened, what has gone on, and those kinds of things. Also, TIFs had not been closed. I closed one as being TIF administrator. I have one pending that will be closed, and we're going to have one in about 2.5 years. So we're going to begin to realize some return of dollars as it results in TIFs being out there 20 and 23 years. And for 20 and 23 years, we've not been getting dollars, but because of these TIFs that are closing, we now are going to be able to realize some of those tax dollars back into our general funds. So strategically, a lot of things are going to be happening down the line that will increase our budget, our income in our budget. But right now, as a result of COVID, the governor has put some things in place. For example, for those people that would ordinarily pay their taxes by the first quarter of a subsequent year, he put them on up to a 6-month, similar to a layaway plan to pay their taxes. So when we anticipated receipt of taxes, we received taxes average 50% lower than what we ordinarily would anticipate. So a lot of things have happened, but in the same method, we've still been able to keep our budget in tow and in line. So, and we have had to go without a lot of things, but we're trying to slowly put things back into the budget as monies become available. I've been making, Trustee McFadden can tell you, I have been making applications, doing a lot of grants. We've been getting ARPA funds. We've been getting FEMA funds. We've gotten more money from Cook County since the existence of University Park. So we've gotten RTA funds. So I'm getting a lot of different sources of funds, but those funds can only be used for the projects that are solicited for, even though they're still considered income for the village. We still use them to do the project, which lessens the amount of general fund dollars we would otherwise need. Some of these projects require general fund matching. And when they do, we've tried to get them at a minimum. Some general, especially with state funds, require a 20% match. We have gotten that down to 10% in some instances based on recommendations and writing up backup. I've gotten the state to agree to not with a zero match. So there are a lot of things that are happening. Come January 1, the University Park parking, the parking venues that are at Metro now are under the auspices of a South Suburban Transportation Board. Effective January 2022, it would become the responsibility, the owner, University Park. We subsequently will see monies in. So the strategy of what's happening is changing. More money, we're able to get more monies in. Certain things we're able to get legislation changed. So you're going to be hearing a lot of this. So a lot of things are going on. So the budget process is going to be a little more difficult. We're going to be able to infuse more dollars coming in to do more kinds of things. We have done a TOD, transit-oriented district site that
Development.
It's a lot of stuff that's going on that it would be in the best interest of this board just to know, and I can share that information. It's a budget. It has to do with dollars, more dollars coming in. So these are the kinds of things that are happening. And I just want to mention that these have been trying times, but because of what has been.
Right, I'm sorry, I have a question. Are we going to be able to get a snapshot of, and the reason why I'm asking that, a snapshot of our bonds, I didn't say bonds, our bonds and things like that, our obligations. What are the things, what are our, liabilities, just basic accounting, our liabilities, assets, and our stakeholders' equity. Those are some of the things that we are looking to see when it comes to, we understand, about the budget. I don't mean to be disrespectful or cut you off or anything like that, because I know that, financing is not an easy job, and especially municipal financing. But one of the things that I guess the committee is looking more so for is, and one of the things that's on the agenda is personnel, and we know that there is a financial firm that is assisting. There are some things that as the finance committee, and it's just our recommendations that we are using that firm to, I guess to our, I don't want to say best of our ability, but to what are we getting for our bang for our buck? Because I mean, Ernestine, or I'm gonna say Madam Village Manager, I just think that you're spread it a little too thin, because you can't be all things to all people. So we want to understand at what point and how this financial firm is, how they're being utilized. And our recommendation is that they are utilized a little bit more in this budgeting process to take some of the load off of you. Because we know that you're doing development. We know that you're wearing a million hats, and it's not fair to you, and it's not fair to the community, is that so much responsibility is placed on you. So that was one of the reasons why we're trying to see what actually is this firm doing and what can they do to help in this budget process. Because maybe they have a project manager, like Danny was saying, or they may have a lead or something that can help facilitate this process.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to have her on this meeting tonight, and I was texted to be on here. This was in conflict with something else tonight. So you're absolutely right. We're starting them to actively participate in these meetings you all have. They have total access to finance, and they'll be able to directly answer some of your questions. I am so happy you said that.
In addition, in support of what you were going over, Madam Village Manager, the 5-year plan, if we could get that, that would be something we could use in the communications with our village. So members of the community will feel like they have an idea where our money is going. And forget the past, I'm just going toward the future. I'm trying to help you, help us, as the rest of us are. So,
okay.
And what I'll do, and I have things in my mind that I don't want to talk about because they would take a long time. What I will do is when we finish with this meeting and also get the report, the 5-year comprehensive plan, I'll write up an idea of I'll write up a document and give you an idea of how I'm thinking we could support what we're trying to do as a committee. And I would like feedback from people. Just don't look at it and say, okay, say yes or no in the email, please. or whatever changes you would anticipate, because I'm not the supermind. I don't know everything. And it would also provide us with a template to answer questions like, where's our money? And the year-end audit you mentioned should give us an idea where the money flows were for the year to date. The things we asked for don't have, and the items we'd like to see.
Okay,
The last audit I seen was somewhere about 2011, 2012, or something like that. It's been a while.
Audits almost are up to date. We can definitely give you access to all the audits. We're working on 20 now. We've completed. We have to go back and redo some info, 13, 14, 15, 16. We've done 17, 18, 19. So it's almost like 7 years worth of work has been done. It's slightly over 2.5 years, but we have all that for you. We filed them with the state, but the kicker is we're having our audit firm to do every line item in the budget. Every 30 days, they're going to give us a balance of every line item. In other words, January, the end of January, to get your teeth clean, you had 30 cents. But the end of February, you only had 10 cents left. So that means that in order that we don't have a deficit, look at your budget. You only have 10 cents left. That's what's being developed right now. And that's going to be the most strategic part of keeping this budget in tow.
I agree with that 100%. So we're all kind of in the same mindset of what we'd like to accomplish. So I guess the structure is, how do we do it? And again, as I said, I'll send out information as to how I think we can proceed and support. And I'm not the one responsible for doing the work or answering to the public for it. So it's important that we have feedback from the village officials as to, am I losing my mind? Does this make sense? Can we get this done?
It makes sense.
Because it sounds like, looking at the budget schedule, some of these items have already been done, but if you just walk around, we haven't told anybody. And nobody really knows.
Right.
Some of the things you were going over, Madam Manager, I was somewhat aware of, but to the details, I don't know. Some of the stuff you can't tell till it's done.
Okay, let me briefly tell you something. I can give you all have them to upload it and send it to you tomorrow. I have done every project that the village that we've done in 2.5, not quite 2.5 years. I have told you what the project is, if it has been completed, if it is in progress, and it's a full page. It's unbelievable. I finished that because we just went to an international shopping center conference, and we had to have this. So it was a great time for me to put all this data together. You have to see it. We do have it. I'll be more than happy. It's concise. It's to the point. And this is very simple to understand. It's that I'm not trying to make anything complicated. I'm putting everything out there that anybody can understand it, but it gives you a clear understanding of what we've done money-wise, project-wise, when it's been completed, it's in progress. I'm going to give you all a copy of that.
That would be great. All right. So actually, if we think about it, we've kind of covered overseeing the budget cycle, creating a comprehensive annual budget proposal and financial report, which is being worked on, if I heard correctly.
Oh, yeah.
And which would move us down on the agenda to time frame and strategy, discuss budget review process and timelines, which we have been doing.
Right.
And kind of agreed that the timelines we're looking at, they're fine. I want to suggest we change the dates because they're already happening. So what I think is missing is the communication to the general public, where applicable, as to the progress we're making per the ordinances that we have to follow. If somebody want to argue with that, then they're going to have to argue with that, but not with us.
And just a suggestion, Madam Village Manager, when you go to the website and you look at the it's the annual report or whatever, it is not in layman's term. One of the things that I would like to see when we do our annual reports is that a third grader can pick it up and read it and understand what it's saying. It makes no sense if the and not saying that, you know, our residents are not literate, because that, you know, that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I am saying is that an average person that does not have any financial experience or background can understand exactly what it is that we're saying. I mean, what it is that the village is doing with the finances, and, you know, so they can read it. You know, I'm kind of baffling a little bit because I'm trying to be politically correct. But yeah, it was kind of convoluted, and it kind of looked like it was taken out of somebody else's financial report and dumped in ours. And that's something that, you know, I would just like for it, not just me, but this is just a suggestion, is that, you know, anybody that picks it up can read it and understand it, basically, is what I'm saying.
I may not be able to totally do that because I'll do the best to bring it to a level of understanding, because I was accused on one circumstance I won't bring up that I was undermining the mental capacity of the community. So it's like you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't. So I'll try to come middle ways and do the best. I hear what you're saying, but
I mean, because I did read it, and I was like, you know, I mean, about time you read 2 or 3 sentences, I'm not going to read this, you know. And I just think that if it's more, I'm going to say user friendly, or if it's more, again, not to, you know, say that we can't comprehend, but I think that I
understand what you're saying.
yeah.
I'll try to make sure we do a little bit better on that. I understand you clearly. Yep. Okay. I'll do my best.
Quick questioning. This is being recorded, correct?
Yes.
I would think
Yes, it is. Yes.
All right, and that would be Neva doing the recording?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, when we're done, could you shoot me the recording from the Zoom? I'll take care of the minutes this time, for sure. From October too.
Probably want to send you from the last one so you can do those too. I'm mad. I don't mean to say madam. I mean Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Just remember, it's Christmas coming, and I watch football.
Right. You know, it's the year of the woman, so I keep saying madam.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
So going forward, I think we kind of have an idea and a template as to what we want to try and do in support of the village manager and the board to get things done, so our community feels a little bit more comfortable with our finances and we have a clearer understanding of what's going on. And people could get happy about what's going on, even if they don't see it. I don't know how, but
Transparency is key.
so considering everyone would like to probably go home or
yes,
hang up.
I got a hard stop. I got an 8 o'clock Zoom and it's 5 after 8, so I'm gonna have to
All right.
go back.
All right, thank you for your presence and information.
Thank
and
you.
looking forward to the communication.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Have a great
Missy.
evening.
Thank you.
And Merry
Have a great
Christmas
evening.
and Happy New Year. Okay.
Merry Christmas
Thank
and
you.
happy holidays to you as well.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so was that the last thing on the agenda?
Yes, it was, ma'am.
Okay.
Next meeting date what does that be, 30 days from today?
That's gonna be January, I don't know.
20th, I think.
Okay, hopefully.
Thursday,
It's the
third Thursday of the month.
Wednesday,
No,
All right,
ordinance is
well,
Wednesday. By ordinance is third Wednesday.
third Wednesday.
third Wednesday.
Mhm.
Yes.
So that would be 1, 2, 3, January 19th,
Yeah.
2022 would be our next meeting date.
Mhm.
I will try and get everybody the information that, an outline of what I'm thinking in my head in about a week or less, which will give everybody plenty of time to review it. And don't wait till the meeting to make comments. Send them back an email.
Mhm.
Reply to all if you feel comfortable with it. If not, send it to me.
Mhm.
But all would be better, so we can all see the same thing we're talking.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan?
Yes.
In that case, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, that
I'd
was
like
it.
the motion that all right, I'll go on mute.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Do you have anything else? Anyone has anything else they would like to say or add to the meeting?
Not I.
It was
All
a
right,
great,
can we
it
get
was
a-
a great, Danny, it was a great meeting. You and
Yes,
Vanita
great
did a
meeting.
great job.
Yes, they
Great
did.
meeting, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, and I'll feel better when we get some results.
All
Me
right.
too.
Amen.
Mhm.
And with that, can we entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I move that we adjourn the meeting at 8:09 p.m.
And who was that?
Vernita.
Thank
All
you.
right. Happy holidays, you all.
Can we get a second on the,
Mhm.
can we get a second on the motion to convene the meeting, please?
I second that motion.
And you are?
Cassandra Clay.
Thank you, ma'am. At that, can we get a roll call?
Ms. Clay,
Yes.
Mr. Seegers, Chairman Seegers,
Yes.
Ms. Martin. Yes. Ms. Dilworth.
I think she gone.
Oh, okay.
She gone.
Okay.
At that, the motion to adjourn passes and the meeting is adjourned. Have a nice evening, everyone.
You too.
Happy holidays.
Everybody. Happy New
Happy
Year.
holidays.
And
Happy holidays,
promise-
everybody. And I like candy. Chocolate preferred.
All right, I put little red hearts on the email.
Oh, Lord. Everybody be blessed.
Yes, thank you, Ms.
All right.
Neva.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Everybody
Have a nice
everybody have
evening.
a great evening.
Okay,
Bye.
you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.